Stephen A. Smith, I'm here, paging, dialing, searching for the owner of USC. How are you doing, my man? I'm wondering if you have maybe 2-3 minutes during this off season.
What's going on, Stephen A? I got a few minutes.
Okay, awesome, man. Let's go ahead and make it real quick. We're talking about a USC team that has been dominant in regards to this late offseason NFL draft. You had 3 players that get drafted in the first round, which made you one of the best in the GFSSL league in regards to having 3 guys get drafted in the first round. There are a few people out there from different camps that felt like it still was only, 4 or 5 overall NFL picks, and they felt like you technically really wasn't one of the best.
I mean, I guess we can understand the hate. I mean, for the first 2 years of the cycle, USC hasn't been to a college football playoffs. And 9 times out of 10, the teams that are talking, that are saying, 3 first rounders is some type of great achievement, have probably been a team that has went to the college football playoffs. It has probably been a team that has lost both years in the college football playoffs. But, I mean, hey, they can hang their hat on the fact that they went to the college football playoffs. But, I mean, unless you Miami, what's the point in going if you're not winning at all, right? I mean, that is the point in getting in. You want to get in to win. As far as our class goes of sending players to the NFL, I mean, at the end of the day, you recruit these young men to come and play for your team, but is it not your job to send your best players to the NFL? Or you just want to have a bunch of graduates, because a lot of those teams that are going to the college football playoffs not only have a bunch of graduates, not only have a bunch of lower round players, but they also have a bunch of players in the transfer portal, and that's when we come in. A team that doesn't go to the college football playoffs, but everybody in the nation wants to play for us.
Very interesting that you said that. I agree with you 100%. Alabama is known for sending out the most first rounders, 46 total. Alabama has the most when it comes to that. And if I'm a football player, I want to go, or I can understand why players want to go to a team like Alabama, because you have a better chance of getting drafted to a higher round. And with that, you have a better chance of making the roster. Whereas if you go in low round, you have to work harder. You have to show yourself a lot more. Everybody can't be a Brock Purdy or Tom Brady. Let's just face the fact. But moving forward, we had a recruiting period. A lot of football teams were able to, build their team. Wisconsin, Miami, as you said before, who's also the highest paid owner in here as far as winning back-to-back like that. And he also promised he's going to get another one. But then you also have Notre Dame. How do you feel as far as what you was able to do as far as recruiting go? Were you able to replace those top dogs that ended up going first round in the NFL draft?
Well, as far as recruiting goes, I definitely feel like we were able to replenish talent on both sides of the ball. Aside from the fact of, Barry Alexander, Keon Foreman, and Zachariah Branch, we were able to definitely bring in some talent in those key positions: wide receiver, defensive end, defensive tackle, that are going to show up and show out for us this year. Every year when it comes to the recruiting class, we we don't dive too heavy into it. You know, we dibble and dabble, but we know more importantly, you know, we'll be able to bring in some young guys. We'll be able to bring in some freshmen, you know, straight out of high school, and they'll be equipped into our program. But we also know that with all this great recruiting that's going on with all these other schools, you know, that portal is going to be wide open because, I mean, you know why? Here's a head coach over here salivating over this 4-star wide receiver, you know, and he's got a 4-star wide receiver on his team that's not getting no PT, you know, so he'll jump in the portal and, you know, it doesn't matter where he is in the nation. USC is his number one destination.
I agree with you 1,000%. And that's the thing about this business. People don't understand. This is not the older days with the Nick Sabans where you bringing in recruits and you know you got them locked in for 3-4 years. This is a different era of football. This is when you getting 4 or 5 stars, but you have to still keep them. Ask Coach Prime about that. Getting that 5-star DB, Kamani McLean, you know, and then he leaving. You know, all of these guys have no control over that. You know what I'm saying? And so you are absolutely correct. And we're licking our chops and our fingers, waiting on some of those top dogs that are going to those top teams that have been able to have some success as far as recruiting. Moving forward, you know, this still is a football team in USC that has been winning football games. This is not like this is a USC team that hasn't been winning football games. I mean, just like with the Dez Bryant catch rule, there has been a Yungmanting rule, you can say, where, you know, the owner, Bird Human, decided to enforce a rule based off of the game that you had this prior last season. How are you feeling as far as the rule change that you are aware of and, you know, with this USC team as far as, you know, winning games? I mean,
man, well, you know, the touch on the new Yungmanting 4th down rule, you know, that change would have never had to happen. You know, had my opponent, UCLA, the UCLA Bruins, had he not been, you know, on baby back status. You know what I'm saying? You know, I simply brought to Bird Human's attention that the majority of us in the league, you know, that 4th and 2 within your opponent's 40, we weren't playing with that. We weren't playing by those rules. We were playing within inside that 50, 4th and 2, 4th and 3, we were going for it. And with all other users, there was no problem, right? But here comes UCLA, you know, who was dying to get into the college football playoffs, dying to play in the Big Ten championship game against Michigan. You know, he knew he was in a lose-lose situation. And so, you know, he cried about it. He ended up quitting the game. We got the dub anyways, you know. So, yeah, the new 4th down rule will be enforced this year, courtesy of me. As far as the league as a whole, you can thank me later. Now, this year, if I have to play against that man, I will be penalized. You know, he'll get a free win. You know, I guess that's the best option for him. Because if UCLA plays USC again this year, yeah, ain't going to be no 4th down rule that's going to save you. Ain't going to be no crying. You know, but yeah, you're right. Go ahead and take the free win. That's your best bet. That's your best bet. Because if you play me, yeah, you already know what time it is. Now, yeah, you know, over the past few years, like I said, man, no college football playoffs, but we have won our bowl games. We have won a bunch of different games. You know, late last year, my quarterback, Moss, you know, he kind of self-imploded a little bit, you know, throwing reckless interceptions those last couple games after we got ranked in the top 10. But, you know, it's a new year. we got Nico at the helm. Nice little transfer from Tennessee. And, we here to fight on.
Awesome. Yeah, a few more questions, man, as we get ready to get you up out of there. I know you have to do a lot of focusing this off season and getting ready for 2-a-days and all that practice and all of that comes with, the game of football. Piggying back on Miami for a second. I mean, this man for the Miami Hurricanes is the highest paid head coach in the GFSSL league. How do you think he's so able to have so much success with winning like this? I mean, it's one thing to win, like you say, get to the playoffs and have all these recruits, and then you don't do nothing with it, versus somebody that's having these recruits, because like I said, he is getting a lot of top dogs, being top 5, according to, the actual EA Football 25 ratings. With him being top 5, he's getting there and he's winning. He's winning it all. How do you think he's able to have so much success?
Well, first off, I think it definitely starts with the players that he's able to recruit. Getting 5- and 4-star guys to come over to your prestigious school. That's always a good thing. That's always a win-win situation. Then, if you're able to get a couple of gems out of the transfer portal, that'll also add to the prestige of your school. On top of that, apparently the man has skill. He's played some of the toughest competition in the league. Some of the biggest, baddest teams from the SEC to the ACC to the Pac-12 and Big Ten and all of that. He's played them all. So I mean he's got a good combination right now going for him. With the recruiting class, his skill level. He's playing at a very high level right now. Unfortunately, everybody loves a winner, He's winning right now. He's on top. He's the top dog. That's the target on his back should be even larger, because eventually what's going to happen is, a lot of these teams are going to be flooded with freshmen and sophomores. No juniors or seniors, and I mean, at that point, we'll see how their team, functions on the field. But, he's the highest paid player right now. He's got back-to-back championships, Unfortunately, he's done that on all of our watch. So, the question is, year 3, what are you planning on doing about it?
Yeah, so a few more questions within this message, and then we'll let you get on up out of here. Do you see him making a three-peat? In his interview, he stated today that he's going for a three-peat. He feels like he wants more money. You know what I'm saying? And then obviously the national championship will be at a higher stake. Do you see him cashing in again this season? And moving forward, are there any final thoughts that you would like to say to the GFSSL community? There's a lot of people that will be watching this video. So from the GFSL community, or just simply YouTubers that just want to watch from the far, is there any final thoughts that you would like to say?
Yeah, as far as him three-peating, I don't see that happening this season. I mean, there's got to be a dark horse somewhere in one of these conferences that's going to step up, and either take him out or meet him in the national championship game and, take it from him. But, three-peat is always nice. It's always a nice thought. As far as the GFSSL league is concerned, good luck with y'all seasons. You know, do your thing, continue your recruiting, continue posting your pictures of your little players, your little 5-star, 4-star, 3-star, 2-star players. Yay! You know. See, we here at USC, we don't post players. So when you get to meet these players, you'll get to meet these players if you play us and you're on our schedule. You'll see them on field. You'll see them live action. Okay? All the posting of the players and, I got one of the best recruiting classes at defensive tackle and offensive line. Shucks! We don't do that. We don't do that here. You know what I'm saying? We just go out there and we play. But, you know, I'm not knocking anybody that does. I'm just saying what we do and what others do. Now, you know, as far as the league is concerned, you know, hopefully a lot of you watch this. You know, hopefully some of you that end up on my schedule, you know, want to use it as bulletin board material, whatever. That doesn't matter. You know what I'm saying? You know, we'll see who we see out there on the field, and you know, we getting ready to fight on. R.I.P. OJ. We here.